Hey, what's up, guys? Today I wanted to go and I wanted to do a little study here on angels. Okay, what are angels? So we're gonna look at some things, and I think you're gonna find this pretty interesting. Okay, so what I did is I went to Revelation 1, verse 7, and what I did is it says, "Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all the kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, amen." Okay, so the part I want to focus on here is that when Jesus comes, notice how it says that he comes with clouds. Okay, now I've been researching this word clouds. I've been looking in the New Testament and the Old Testament, and we're going to go over some of these here, and I want to show you guys what those clouds are when Jesus comes back. Okay. This when I found this out, I was floored. I was so excited. All right, so I made a bunch of notes on this, and we're gonna look at a bunch of verses. So, all right, the first verse we're gonna go to. Okay, and before we even start, I want to mention this from what I have figured out and understand. Clouds are symbolic of angels. Okay, this is kind of where that idea of the Nephilim idea comes from, because the word cloud in Greek, we'll look at it here in a minute, but it's Nephil or Nephili. We'll look up in a second, okay? And also notice in the Old Testament, when Israel was in the wilderness, they were being led by the cloud, the pillar of cloud during the day and the pillar of fire at night. They were being led by God. Jesus was leading them, but the pillar of clouds, it was the angels. The angels, because the angels are everywhere Jesus is. They carry him everywhere they go. This is what I've discovered. So let's go over some of these verses, okay? Let's look in Matthew 24:30 to start. "And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory." Okay, that sign of the Son of Man that it talks about right there. It's the cloud. It's the chariot cloud of the angels. I believe Elijah saw it too when it came to pick him up, when it translated Elijah. Let's look at that word cloud there in the Greek before we continue. It's the Greek word Nephile. You can see where they get Nephilim from. Okay, it just means a cloud. All right. So let's close that. Now let's go to Mark 13:26. "And then they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds with great power and glory." We see him coming, you guys, in the clouds because the angels are carrying him. They're his chariot. His chariots of fire. Oh, that's so awesome. All right, let's look at Luke 21:27. "And then they shall see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory." They're coming in a cloud. It's the angels that they're all together carrying Jesus. Oh, isn't that amazing? Okay, let's go through some more. Let's look at Revelation 10:1. "And I saw another mighty angel come down from heaven, clothed with a cloud, and a rainbow was upon his head, and his face was where the sun, and his feet as pillars of fire." You know what's funny about that? The feet as pillars of fire. The angels also are described as pillars of fire. It's amazing. I haven't figured that part out yet. But you can see he was clothed with a cloud. You guys, it's the angels. It's so cool. Okay, let's look at Matthew 17:15. "Lord, have mercy on my son, for he is a lunatic, and sore vexed, for oft times he falleth into the fire, and oft into the water. I don't know why I even put that one in there. Well, let's look at a different one. I must have made a mistake on that one. Let's look at Revelation 14 through 16. And I looked, and behold, a white cloud, and upon the cloud one sat like unto the Son of Man, having on his head a golden crown. He's sitting on the cloud, you guys. He's sitting. The angels are like, they make a chariot, and he's sitting on the angels, and they carry him wherever he goes. He's got a golden crown, and in his hand a sharp sickle. And another angel came out of the temple, crying with a loud voice to him that sat on the cloud, Thrust in thy sickle and reap, for the time is come for thee to reap, for the harvest of the earth is ripe. And he sat on the cloud, thrust in his sickle on the earth, and the earth was reaped. Okay, that's the second coming. I believe what that's talking about there, but he's sitting on the angels, you guys, the clouds. Isn't it? It's just fascinating to me. All right, let's look at Mark 9:7. And there was a cloud that overshadowed them, and a voice came out of the cloud, saying, This is my beloved Son, hear him. So the disciples, they saw a cloud. It was the angels, and God spoke. The Father spoke out of the cloud. Oh, it's just I'm fascinated by this stuff. I love it. Okay, let's look at Luke 9:34. While he thus spake, there came a cloud and overshadowed them, and they feared as they entered into the cloud. And there came a voice out of the cloud, saying, This is my beloved Son, hear him. Once again, you guys, they entered into the cloud. It's incredible, man. All right, let's look at 1 Corinthians 10:1 and 2. Oh, I love this one. Moreover, brethren, I would not that you should be ignorant, how that all our fathers were under the cloud, and all passed through the sea, and were all baptized unto Moses in the cloud and in the sea. This is talking about the Red Sea experience. When Israel had to go through the Red Sea, the cloud was there and it led them. You guys, it was the angels. God was there with the angels. Jesus was there. Oh, it's fascinating stuff. Okay, let's look at Matthew 26:64. Jesus saith unto him, Thou hast said, Nevertheless I say unto you, hereafter you shall see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power, and coming in the clouds of heaven. Powerful. Powerful, man. Okay, Mark 14:62. And Jesus said, I am, and you shall see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power, and coming in the clouds of heaven. Just pretty much the same thing. Oh, let's look at 1 Thessalonians 4:17, you guys. This is talking about translation. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Lord. A lot of rapture people like to use that for the rapture, but what this is, you guys, this is the translation. Once the dead in Christ are raised, then we who are alive together, we are caught up together with them in the clouds. It's not our clouds up here in our sky. It's the angels, because the angels come and get us, and they bring us to Jesus, who's in the air. Isn't that cool? Oh, it's incredible. All right, let's look at, this is just Luke 12:54. I mean, clouds are not always the angels in the Bible. I mean, I think that's why we have clouds in our sky. I think that they're symbolic to illustrate what the angels do. Because think about it. I mean, the clouds bring the rain, and we know it's the angels that bring the Holy Spirit to us. And they also bring light and understanding, and they give us. It all comes from God and through the Holy Spirit. But the Holy Spirit is in all the angels. So whenever you see, like if you're reading the Bible and you're getting a deeper understanding and you're learning things, the angels are the ones that are doing that. God sends them to do that work. So our clouds send the rain. Okay, now they also, lightning flashes out of clouds. Well, we know that angels travel at the speed of lightning. That's how fast they are. And we're going to be that fast. Uh, Everybody that gets to go to heaven. Think about it, because Jesus even said that he saw Satan fall from heaven like lightning. Okay, so angels travel at the speed of lightning. It's incredible. So I think that's probably why we got clouds in our sky, just to illustrate what the angels do. Okay, so let's read this verse. And he said also to the people, when you see a cloud rise out of the west, straightway you say, there cometh a shower, and so it is. It's just telling us that when you see a cloud's coming, you know that the rain's on the way. And the angels, think about it, symbolically, they do the same thing. So I just think that's pretty cool. Let's look at Acts 1:9. Now check this one out, guys. And when he had spoken these things while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. This is at the ascension of Jesus. Now think about this, guys. Jesus resurrected, was here for 40 days, taught the disciples, and showed himself to people in his resurrected body. Okay. Now when he left, I used to read this verse and thought that the actual clouds just like received him. That's what I thought. Like our white, and the angels are white. They wear the white robes, which is the white light, God's light. That's what they wear, and their wings must be white. That's why the clouds are pure white. But you guys, this is the angels that came to pick up Jesus. Okay? Because as they were looking, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. You guys, the angels received him out of their sight, and then they took their journey to heaven. I think it takes like 7 days to get to heaven from the earth, in earth time. Don't quote me on that. That's just from the research I've done. So, awesome. Okay, let's look at 2 Kings 6:17. Many times when you see chariots of fire in the Old Testament, symbolically, it's speaking about the angels, because the angels they're so bright, just like God. There's fire all around them. Fire issues forth because the light is so bright. It produces fire and great heat. Okay? And Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee, open his eyes that he may see. And the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw. And behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. This was the angels, you guys, were all around. Isn't that Elijah didn't even need to see. He just says, because he knew they were there. He's like, Lord, open this young man's eyes so that he may see. And the Lord opened up his eyes, let him see the invisible things, his spirit eyes, or whatever you would call that. And he saw chariots of fire and horsemen. Oh, wow. This is breathtaking, man. Alright, let's look at Joel 2, 3 through 5. A fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Yeah, and nothing shall escape them. The appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen, so shall they run, like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains. Shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. Wow. It's incredible to think how powerful they are. Think about the Roman legion that was guarding Jesus's his tomb. I thought there was 100 men there. It wasn't a legion. It was I don't know if it was a centurion, or I have to look at that more. But I know there was a lot of soldiers there, and just one angel, well, two angels came down, but one angel, he showed himself to all the soldiers, and they all passed out. They were so scared to death that they passed out, and they all ran. And the angel sat on the tomb, and he just rolled the stone out of the way like it was nothing. And he said, what did he say to the Son of God? His corpse was sitting there dead. And he said, O thou Son of God, arise, thy Father calleth thee from the grave. And then the angels put the spirit back in to Jesus, because the Father sent them to do that. So that's incredible, man. The angels, they must be so glorious, you guys. Because even when the prophets, when they first see the angels, they're scared to death. Sometimes they pass out, they faint, they fall at their feet. And the angels always got to say, fear not, fear not, So, awesome. All right, let's look at... We looked at that. Let's look at Genesis 9:16. This is cloud in the Old Testament. And the bow shall be in the cloud. It's talking about the rainbow. And I will look upon it, that I may remember the everlasting covenant between God and every living creature of all flesh that is upon the earth. I believe that because the rainbow is the covenant that God made, that he would never flood the earth again. He promised them. So that's why every time it stops raining, we see a rainbow. That's God letting us know that, the rain has ceased and it's not going to flood. So let's look at Exodus 13:21. And the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud. You guys see that? Jesus went before Israel in the pillar of a cloud. That pillar of a cloud right there, guys, that's the angels. Wow. To lead them the way. And by night in a pillar of fire to give them light, to go by day and by night. So at nighttime, you guys, it appeared as a pillar of fire. That was the angels. Because like I said, there's fire issues forth from God and from the Son of God and from all the angels. Because their glorious white robes, they produce great heat and fire all around. That's why God's got to give all his people a new body, because it's got to be, in a sense, it's got to be fireproof. Because you would burn up. Like the wicked, like the people that do not overcome sin, they burn up because they don't have the body to withstand the heat, the glory in it, the glory of God. So that's why they burn up and die. So it's fascinating to me. But Jesus, when he was leading in the Old Testament, Israel, whenever you see a pillar of fire or a pillar of a cloud, guys, that's the angels with Jesus. I never knew that before. Let's look at Exodus 14:19. And the angel of God, which went before the camp of Israel. Now it's telling us, it says the angel of God, which went before the camp of Israel, removed and went behind them. And the pillar of the cloud went from before their face and stood behind them. Now sometimes an angel could be Jesus, just like sometimes an angel could be a human being. An angel doesn't always mean a literal angel of heaven. An angel just means it's a messenger of God. Okay? So I wouldn't get too caught up. So this could be Jesus right here. What's the word here used for angel? It's malak. Messenger, representative, see? That's all an angel is, you guys. Messenger, representative. We get like our words evangelist, from the word angel. It's the messenger. And sometimes, like I said, sometimes the angel of the Lord can be Jesus in the Old Testament. So I'm not sure if this is Jesus or not, but all I know is that, let's look at this again. The angel of God, which went before the camp of Israel, removed and went behind them. So the angel moved, he was in front of them, and he moved himself to the back. And when he did that, notice what happens. The pillar of the cloud went from before them and stood behind them. It's because the angel moved. So that's either Jesus moved and then the angels followed him, or it's just the angels moved from the front to the back. Isn't that incredible? That's just, I love reading this stuff. Oh, guys, check this one out. Exodus 14:24. This is cool. And it came to pass that in the morning watch. Okay, this is taking place as they're going through the Red Sea experience, okay? And it came to pass that in the morning watch, yeah, it's probably around 6 a.m., between 3 and 6 a.m. Not sure on that, but the Lord looked unto the host of the Egyptians through the pillar of fire and of the cloud, and troubled the host of the Egyptians. Wow. You guys, Jesus looked at the Egyptian armies that were coming through, that they were going to pass through the pillar of fire, which was the angels, and of the cloud, which is the angels. And the Egyptians were troubled. I mean, they must have saw God looking at them. Jesus looking at them, you guys. Is that incredible? Oh, I love that one. Alright, let's go to just a couple more I want to look at here. And this, like I said, this is just a short little study that I did. But it's so fascinating to know that when we see Jesus coming with the clouds, that it's the angels that are carrying him here. So, alright, let's look at Exodus 19:16. It's kind of cool. And it came to pass on the third day in the morning that there were thunders and lightnings and a thick cloud upon the mount, and the voice of the trumpet exceeding loud, so that all the people that was in the camp trembled. See, whenever God speaks, okay, there's always thunders and lightnings, and it sounds like a trumpet blast. I mean, think about how big Jesus is, like in his natural form, in his real form. How big? Think about how big the Father is. I mean, his earth is literally, he could hold the earth in his pinky. So when he speaks, it's gonna be thunderous, trumpet, sound like a trumpet, because think about it, his voice would have so much power it would shake the earth. And back then, Israel, at Mount Sinai, when God was talking, the mountains were trembling, the earth was trembling, and they actually told Moses that they were covering their ears and they were terrified. They told Moses, I think they told Moses to tell God to stop talking. They didn't want to hear his voice. Isn't that terrible? They didn't want to hear his voice, so then they just told Moses, let him talk to you, and then you can tell us what he said. They didn't want to hear his voice because they were too scared. Wow. It's incredible. But notice how here it says that there were thunders and lightnings and a thick cloud upon the mount, and the voice of the trumpet. Oh, that's so cool. Alright, let's look at Exodus 24:15 through 18. Okay, Moses went up into the mount, and a cloud covered the mount, and the glory of the Lord abode upon the mount, Sinai. And the cloud covered it 6 days. So the angels covered it 6 days. And the seventh day he called unto Moses out of the midst of the cloud. He's calling from out of the midst of the angels. And the sight of the glory of the Lord was like devouring fire. You guys seeing that? I mean, his glory is most glory, plus the angels. I mean, it would have been just pure fire everywhere. On the top of the mount in the eyes of the children of Israel. And Moses went into the midst of the cloud and gat him up into the mount. And Moses was in the mount 40 days and 40 nights. You guys got to think, too. God would have had to shield Moses by a cloud. Okay? Either with the angels or by an actual cloud. Because he would have, if he would have saw it straight, all that glory would have killed him. I mean, remember when he came down from the mount and his face was shining? It's because he was reflecting God's glory. He was reflecting it. But I mean, God had to shield him from most of that glory because it would have killed him. So, I love reading this stuff. Alright, let's jump around a little bit here. Let's look. Oh, first, look at this one, guys. This is Exodus 34:5. And the Lord descended in the cloud and stood with him there and proclaimed the name of the Lord. Notice how he descended in the cloud. When he descends, the angels they're descending with him. Fascinating. Ooh, check this out. Look at Leviticus 16:2. This is interesting here. And the Lord said unto Moses, Speak unto Aaron thy brother, that he come not at all times into the holy place. It's the holy place of the sanctuary. This would be the earthly sanctuary, because they were on earth. Within the veil. Remember, the veil is what separated the holy place from the most holy place. Okay. Before the mercy seat, which is upon the ark, that he die not, for I will appear in the cloud upon the mercy seat. And you guys know this, the clouds are the angels, and we know that when he's on the mercy seat, when the glory of God is on the mercy seat, you guys, 2 angels are on the mercy seat. They cover the glory with their wings. Wow. I didn't even think about that till now. Even the angels are on the mercy seat with him. Whew, that's incredible. Alright, let's look at Numbers 11:25. And the Lord came down in a cloud and spake unto him, and took of the Spirit that was upon him, and gave it unto the 70 elders. And it came to pass, when the Spirit rested upon them, they prophesied, and did not cease. But notice how it says that he came down in a cloud. That's why I've been reading all these verses, to show you that when he comes down, when he descends, it's always in a cloud, because it's always with the angels. And we may read a couple more. I want to. Let's look at Deuteronomy 31:15. And the Lord appeared in the tabernacle in a pillar of a cloud, and the pillar of the cloud stood over the door of the tabernacle. Wow! Once again, he appeared in the tabernacle in a pillar of the cloud with the angels. So let's look at 1 Kings 8:10. And it came to pass, when the priests were come out of the holy place, that the cloud filled the house of the Lord, so that the priests could not stand to minister because of the cloud, for the glory of the Lord had filled the house of the Lord. Wow, the cloud, the angels. Oh, that's fascinating. That's fascinating. All right, let's look at 1 Kings 18:44. And it came to pass at the 7th time that he said, Behold, there ariseth a little cloud out of the sea, like a man's hand. And he said, Go up, say unto Ahab, Prepare thy chariot, and get thee down, that the rain stop thee not. This is Elijah. Elijah was looking for the cloud, for the angels, and it looked like a man's hand. And that man's hand, that cloud-shaped man's hand, that's, from what I've been understanding, that's actually the sign of the Son of Man. Like at the end, we're going to see a cloud way out in the distance that's going to look dark. And it's going to look like it's a man's hand, but it's Jesus coming to the earth. All the angels are carrying him. And as it gets closer and closer to the earth, it's going to get brighter and brighter and brighter until it finally, when it gets here, all that glory is going to kill everybody on the earth, all the wicked. And the only ones that will be able to stand are going to be the ones that have overcame sin by Christ, from how I understand it. And then the angels are going to carry them up and to take them to Jesus, so they're going to forever be with him. So it's just incredible. It's incredible. So everything that I've seen, that the sign of the Son of Man that Matthew 24 talks about, it's the man's hand cloud that's in the shape of a man's hand. It's the chariot. Okay, let's go to, that might be it for this video. Oh, no. Let's look at Nehemiah 9:12. It says, moreover, thou leddest them in the day by a cloudy pillar, and in the night by a pillar of fire, to give them light in the way wherein they should go. Now remember, in the wilderness, Israel was being led during the day by a pillar of cloud, which was the angels. Then at night by a pillar of fire, which was also the angels. Jesus was there too, but I'm just saying the angels were with Jesus. And the last one I want to look at, there's two more. Let's look at Isaiah 14:14. This is what Lucifer said when he was in heaven. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. You see, he wanted Jesus' position. He wanted to be like the Most High. And we all know, well, we should know that Jesus is like the Most High. He's just like his Father. Okay? He wanted to be like the Most High. He wanted Jesus' spot. And notice what he says, that he wanted to ascend above the heights of the clouds. I used to read that verse and think that he wanted to ascend like us, like we want to go up and go above the clouds. Well, what does that even mean? You know what I mean? But he's talking about the angels. He wanted to ascend above the heights of the angels and be like the Most High. That is just fascinating when you look at it that way, you know. It gives it a whole new light. And the last one I want to look at is Isaiah 19:1. Now check this out, guys. This is talking about Egypt, when Israel was in bondage for 400 years. The burden of Egypt. Behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. I think this is talking about, I think this was when Israel was being held captive, you know, during those 400 years. But notice how it says that, guys. It says that the burden of Egypt, the Lord, he rode upon a swift cloud and came into Egypt. That just makes me think Jesus riding on all the swift angels, and he came into Egypt. Oh, it's so cool to think about, you know. It's amazing. I can't wait to learn more when we actually get to see these things, you know what I mean? So, anyways, that's going to be it for this video, guys. There was more verses we could have went through. There's literally hundreds. So the Bible is filled with the angels. So we just didn't realize that the angels are described also as clouds and chariots of fire, pillars of clouds, and there's probably others, I'm sure. I mean, this is just the tip of the iceberg that I've discovered. So, alright, guys, that's it for this video, and I will be back up soon. Alright, God bless.